Hi everyone, my name's Matthew Burns. I'm the project leader for Project D1, which is all about understanding the role of small headwater or zero water streams in urbanizing catchments for supporting waterway health. Would have preferred, of course, to be talking in front of all of you, but I hope you find at least this presentation interesting. So headwater streams, what are they? Well, at the start of the stream network are these very small drainage lines, zero or first order streams right at the top of the network. They comprise 75–80% of the total stream network. So a huge amount of the network is these small headwater streams. A lot of research is coming out showing that they're really important in terms of influencing and regulating downstream waterway health. They supply flow, nutrients, energy, and seed, and a whole range of really important ecosystem processes and functions happen in these small drainage lines. So these headwater sites are particularly known to be important in terms of nutrient processing. What's interesting is that these headwater streams, whilst they make up a huge amount of their network, unfortunately, particularly in Melbourne and around the world, they're being lost and degraded through agriculture and urbanisation. This is a problem because these streams are actually really poorly understood features of the landscape. We don't really know much about their hydrology, their water quality and ecology, and this lack of fundamental understanding, of course, that has implications on how we manage downstream waterway health. This is a map of the Melbourne region. It's the new stream network layer that we've got, so a really important and great asset. You can see here all these dark blue lines are these newly mapped headwater sites across the region. You can just see how much of the network is comprised by these really important features, but features that we don't actually know much about. And this zoomed in image really illustrates that. This is Starvation Creek up in the Yarra Ranges. You can just see just how many of these little blue, small but important drainage lines there are. And so this project is benefiting Melbourne Water in a few ways. Firstly, we've been able to identify where headwater streams are, and the new stream network layer really illustrates this. The project's contributing to how headwater sites function, and also, importantly, what is their role in the landscape. A lot of research coming out saying they play an important role in the health of downstream waters, but really trying to understand that. And here are just some pictures of some headwater sites that we've been visiting. And so the main aims of this project are to investigate and quantify the magnitude of the values and services provided by headwater streams across the region, and then to use this new information to facilitate their effective management and protection through a clear business case and appropriate policy and design guidelines. So it's knowing where headwater streams are, how they function, and to use this information to facilitate their ultimately their protection. And so through trying to understand how headwater streams function, this small project has started to monitor the hydrology, water quality and ecology of some headwater streams across Melbourne. And to date, we've been monitoring 4 sites out in the west. So there's a trip of Bringo Creek out in the Macedon Ranges, a trip of Jackson's Creek, a trip of Cooper's Creek in the Lerderderg, and a trip of Charlie's Creek in Mount Charlie Reserve. 4 sites out in the west, been monitoring hydrology just by using some water level loggers, also monitoring groundwater levels using the same loggers. Where we've been able to get some water quality samples, we have. And we've also been monitoring, in terms of ecological monitoring, monitoring organic matter decomposition and also sampling Steiger fauna inside some of these groundwater bores. Only a pilot study for now, just these 4 sites, but there is a plan to expand this monitoring effort to some other sites across the region. I won't go too much into detail about what results we have so far, but we're finding that these small headwater streams have some really sort of fascinating and unique hydrology. So this is just a plot showing some of the hydrologic results from the tributary of Baringo Creek up the Macedon Ranges. You can see here the blue line is just a plot of surface water, and the red down below is the depth to groundwater. So when the depth to groundwater is 0, that means the water table is right at the top of the surface of the stream bed. And you can see here that the stream, this small headwater site is only flowing in the wetter months of the year, and you only get sort of a notable increase in the hydrograph when you've got a fair bit of rain. But at the end of spring, and as things start drying up come summer, the stream completely dries up. There's no surface water, and the water level below the stream bed is meters below. Really fascinating, and some of the other sites we've been monitoring, particularly one out in the Leuterberg, has featured similar hydrology. But really interesting, ephemeral during the dry periods. And you can imagine that if there was any sort of development in this catchment, the hydrology would be completely different. We would lose this really important seasonality. In terms of water quality, so I said before, we've been monitoring some water quality of these sites. This is just some example, particularly nitrogen and phosphorus water quality data for the same tributary up in the Macedon Ranges. One thing I'd just like to point out, these blue dots are where we've been able to get a surface water sample, and we're finding extremely low levels of nutrients. So really, really low total nitrogen and total phosphorus. So in terms of water quality, super clean water coming out of these headwater sites. So our next steps, particularly for these 4 sites we've been monitoring, include getting some rain gauges installed in these catchments. So we've got some ready to be deployed. When we've taken water quality samples, we've also saved some water to be taken to be analysed for the stable isotopes of water. And an isotopic analysis of water can help understand what are the sources of water in these sites. So is all the surface water in these streams, is it recent rainfall, or is it coming from deeper groundwater stores? Knowing these different sources of water is really important in terms of the management of these systems. Another idea we're ready to test is the use of thermal imagery to also help reveal sources of water. So the theory is that groundwater that's potentially seeping into the stream will be a cooler temperature than, say, surface water. And so combining the thermal imagery, the isotopic analyses, can shed even more light on these different sources of water in these headwater sites. And another development in the project is to study organic matter decomposition in headwater sites, which is a really important functional process, source of energy, and a really important indicator of ecosystem health. And we're very fortunate to have a really motivated and hardworking master's student, Stephanie Brown, who's leading this work. And her work will feature Headwater sites, not just the 4 we've been monitoring, but a wider sample of sites across Melbourne. So, and the ultimate goal of this work is to this work so far has been more of a pilot study, quite a small project in the scheme of the larger partnership projects. But our plan is to use a lot of the data we've been collecting and plan to collect to form the basis of a much larger ARC proposal that would feature the monitoring of many more sites and things like that. So here the team that we've been working on the project, really appreciate particularly the support of our Melbourne Water colleagues. It's been really, it's been a fun project so far, and hopefully it continues to be so. So thanks a lot.